Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the comedy film, Dr. Dolittle. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. Enjoy your viewing. To Little John Dolittle, the dog explains why dogs sniff each other's butts. After listening to the dog, John decided to sniff the school principal's butt. The father immediately realized that something had to be done with his son and called the priest. The priest was supposed to exorcise the boy's demon, but the dog protected the owner. Since then, John has not had a dog. He also stopped talking to animals, just as his father wanted. Dolittle grew up normal. He started a family and became a tyrant like his father. He demands from his daughter that she socialize with her peers in the camp, not do her experiments and stop watching The Swan's Egg. John no longer loves animals like he did as a child. He works as a doctor in a clinic that a large corporation wants to buy out. Therefore, a conference will be held on that occasion, and John will have to miss a picnic with his family because of it. After seeing his family off, the doctor receives a task. He needs to find a guinea pig that escaped from its cage and take care of the egg. The protagonist decided to catch the guinea pig with the help of mousetraps. When John was sleeping, the guinea pig climbed on top of him and scared him very much. The doctor was called to the clinic in the middle of the night because the patient had once again eaten crabs. On the way back, the man was distracted and almost hit the dog. The dog lay on the asphalt for a while, and then got up and started scolding John to watch where he was going. He understands the language of animals again. The chief doctors of the clinic met with Mr. Calloway. He offers them a deal for $4 million. John is distracted by a conversation about bread and cheese chips, for which pigeons and squirrels are fighting. Dolittle feels uncomfortable and immediately leaves the meeting. Now he has to take the guinea pig to his daughter. He didn't notice it, but he started discussing the weather with the animal. The doctor almost had another accident. The pig is also surprised that it understands humans. John argues with the animal in front of passers-by. The passers-by suspect that the driver is unwell. He decided to leave the cage with the pig in the middle of the road, but his conscience did not allow him to leave the animal on the roadside, and he immediately returned to pick up the talking rodent. However, he fixed the cage on the roof of the car to avoid hearing the pig, but the pest started singing and bothering its owner. The family noticed that John was behaving strangely and constantly looking in the direction of the pig. In the evening, John was hoping to finally relax with his wife, but then he was approached by an owl sitting on a branch. The bird had noticed that the man understood their language and flew over to ask John to take the branch out of its wing. The owl thanked him and flew away. The man behaved strangely again. In a panic, he closes all the doors, but a crow and a raccoon still get in. They are very talkative. Outside, a skunk also wants something from him. John decides to run away from the forest in the middle of the night. Leaving his family behind again, Dolittle called his colleague Sam to meet him at the hospital right away. In the trash can, John saw 2 rats who were swearing a lot. They also started calling the man names. The omography showed no abnormalities. Where did the voices in his head come from? Perhaps it was the effects of stress from almost running over the dog. The next morning, Dolittle saw the same dog brought to the shelter with the rest of the stray dogs. The mongrel was already being euthanized, but John saved the dog. However, he still left the animal in the middle of the street. The cunning dog started pretending to be sick, and John brought him to the veterinary clinic. Other dogs play tricks on their owners. One overly active shepherd dog is being dragged to be castrated. When the veterinarian was about to take the dog's temperature, the dog screamed that he was just faking it, but it was too late. The dog whimpered and asked for the thermometer. The vet checked, and indeed the thermometer was gone. So now the woolly poor thing is in for a more thrilling experience. John throws the dog out of the car again, no matter how hard he tries to make the man feel sorry for him. Meanwhile, his daughter Maya called. At that moment, the dog returned and barked loudly. Maya thought her father was going to give her a dog. That's why he left them in the middle of the night last night. The girl was brought to the children's camp. She was very happy to meet her new friend Lucky. The man says that the dog can do tricks with a thermometer. His wife wonders if her husband is healthy, because it is very unlike John. In fact, the daughter would like to go home with Lucky, but her father insists that she stay and find friends here. In the evening, the owl gathered a bunch of animals and told them about an unusual person who understands the language of all animals. The owl says that this person can help. Meanwhile, the dog does not allow the owner to be alone with his wife. Lisa hears the man's conversation with the dog as barking. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. It's 3 sheep. A flock of ducks and a goat are also running around the house. He has to lie to his wife that a colleague came to see him. She was offended by him because of this. The eldest daughter woke up, but could not get to the toilet because Lucky and the birds occupied it, and they had to hide behind the shower curtain. Sheep, dogs, a pig and parrots entered the house without permission, and then penguins, chickens, and pigeons. The man could not do anything about it. Dolittle started treatment. On top of that, he has to solve problems in a pigeon's nest. The pigeon looks at other people's pigeons, which his beloved does not like at all. Capuchin has a problem with alcohol. After all, everyone knows that a drunk monkey is a disgrace. The dog is too focused on his ball. A horse was waiting for John downstairs. The horse's eyesight has gone bad, and he is kicked out of the police force. A miracle happens. Glasses help the horse. The monkey got drunk and let the tiger out of the cage. The predator is depressed. The tiger climbed a tall building. The fearless doctor approaches him and asks him not to make any sudden movements. The tiger complains of feeling unwell and wonders why this man wants to help him. John asks him to trust him. If he can't help the tiger, he'll let it eat him and Lucky. The next day, Doolittle is busy studying cat anatomy. He also reminds Mark how they started out at work and wanted to help as many patients as possible. Last night, John felt the same enthusiasm for his work. His anger disappeared. John called a veterinarian he knows. It turns out that he is the author of the book that Doolittle is reading. He consults with the doctor, but still does not understand what the tiger is sick with. John was so involved in treating the tiger that he forgot about an important meeting. At the same time, a variety of animals are resting in his house. One of the rats feels sick, and another rat asks to save his friend. The rat asks to forget that they threatened to infect John with the plague. His wife and colleagues caught him just as he was examining the rodent. Right now, the rat's heart has stopped. We have to use artificial respiration. The people are cringing in disgust, and the second rat calls the doctor a pervert. But it doesn't matter, because he is saving the animal's life. It's just intestinal gas, John happily announces. He had to visit a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist jokingly suggests talking to his cat Freud. As a result, John was left in the clinic for 10 days. A local squirrel offers him to get anything in exchange for pills. The psychiatrist hooked the orangutan up to a medical device. He wants John to evoke emotions in the monkey. During their alleged conversation, our hero tries to negotiate with the orangutan, but it is silent and only grimaces. John realizes too late that the monkey was brought from Mexico and speaks Spanish, not English. Mark comes to John. He says that if he is not at the press conference, the deal will fall through. The doctor misses his family. He called home, but a guinea pig picked up the phone and accused the man of an attempted murder. She found a mousetrap behind the refrigerator. The tiger is disappointed in the doctor and thinks that he will not come back. Meanwhile, the tiger is getting worse. Lucky runs to the owner to help him escape. He says that the tiger is very sick, but John blames the dog for all his troubles. It was because of him that he started talking to animals again. John chases his dog away. He asks the psychiatrist to let him go home. He says he's just overworked at work. If the bearded man lets him go now, Jonah will keep quiet about the stripper's panties in the doctor's drawer. Keith had already told him everything. Doolittle returned home. His younger daughter has already left the camp. John ignores the animals and pretends not to understand them. The doctor tries to return to his normal life. Maya tells her grandfather that she believes that her father can talk to animals. And she is even happy about it because it turns out that he is as strange as she is. The girl and her father have the same misunderstanding as John had with his father. The grandfather admits that he was wrong when he raised his son. In the car, John convinces his daughter that there is nothing wrong with being strange. The doctor listened to his own words. You need to be yourself. He confessed to Lucky that he loved him. And with these words, he brought the dog to tears. John snuck into the circus and stole a tiger to have it tested in the clinic. When the guards noticed the kidnapper, they immediately called the police. A conference is about to start. Colleagues are trying to see John, and Maya has brought a guinea pig with her. Calloway is ready to wait just 10 more minutes. The guinea pig jumped into the toilet and was flushed down the toilet by a crab lover. John took the tiger to the clinic. His colleagues found Doolittle in the laboratory, not alone, but with the tiger. They immediately began to run away. Mark wants to persuade John to return to the clinic and split the money between the two of them. For such a proposal, he is immediately knocked out. Doolittle needs an urgent operation, but they can only get to the operating room through the room where the press conference is taking place. The tiger was hidden on a gurney, but the predator saw the guinea pig and went hunting. John takes the situation into his own hands and explains that the tiger is very sick and he is going to operate on it anyway. The police arrived at the clinic building, but the animals staged a rally and wouldn't let the cops in. John proceeds to the operation, and his father convinces Lisa that the man really knows the language of animals. He always thought it was an aberration, but it's actually a gift. Doolittle admits that he has performed such brain surgery only once before, and that was on a corpse. The process of the operation is filmed by journalists who were invited to the conference. Tiger complains that he is afraid. Lisa comes over and strokes the huge predator's paw to calm it down. John needs to find a blood clot urgently, otherwise the tiger will die. And it was a miracle. He did it, and the striped one immediately said that the pain was gone. Other animals also watched the process. The only one who was not satisfied with the result was the guinea pig. Mr. Calloway is impressed with Doolittle's skills, and he has already changed his mind about selling the clinic. A swan is about to hatch. But trouble. It turns out that Maya has been fiddling with an alligator egg all this time. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klontsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.